What up, commies? A commis or commis chef is a chef in training that follows around the head chef to learn the intricacies of each station in a professional kitchen. So this makes you my commis. Chef Billy Parisi here, and if you've ever struggled to get tons of flavor into those Kalbi Korean short ribs, I've got two traditional amazing ingredients that are gonna go right into these short ribs to help take them to the next level. Get ready to bring your favorite Korean restaurant right to your own kitchen with this recipe. And it's just like I always say, you guys, homemade cooked food from scratch just tastes better. And these short ribs are dang sure gonna bring some big old smiles to your table. If you look at the word Kalbi or Galbi, it sounds just like that based on how it's written. But I've got some close Korean friends and they've been helping me out with how to pronounce this word. They told me there's no good pronunciation for an L or an R, so it's somewhere in between, so it sounds more like Kalbi, Kalbi, with a little bit of R to it. Say it with me, Kalbi. I know it maybe looks weird, sounds weird, and I'm maybe probably way off with trying to pronounce it, but that is how you do it. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into this recipe, starting with the marinade. What we need to do is slice the ends off of a yellow onion, then simply cut it in half. We're going to peel it and add it to a blender. The reason we're gonna add it to a blender, it's gonna give us the opportunity to infuse all those flavors together and then submerge those short ribs in there. It's the best, easiest way to do this, so definitely do it this way. Now I'm gonna add in some big old garlic cloves. Yes, they are big. I'm gonna be using in between 5 or 6. Now for some ginger, just a little bit, you guys, because ginger is so intense in flavor. So go ahead and slice a little bit off the end, line it up, and then what we're gonna do is simply peel it or trim it around the outside to sort of square it off. It does not need to be perfect in shape. Add it to the blender as well. And for the original base of this recipe, it's equal parts water, soy, and sugar. I'm gonna be using something very similar to that. So go ahead and add in 1 cup of cold water, 1 cup of soy sauce, and then just a ½ cup of brown sugar because I've got some other goodness, sweetness that's going into this, and it's gonna compensate for that other ½ cup that I did not put in there. Now add in some mirin, which is some rice cooking wine. We're gonna hit it with some honey, that's that sweetness I was telling you about, some sesame oil, some sesame seeds, that one is optional. And now we have an Asian pear, which is incredibly traditional to use in these Kalbi ribs. It looks like a golden delicious apple, but it's light brown, kind of like those pears that are sort of turning into ripeness from the green to the light brown. Looks just like that brown color, tastes just like a pear too. So go ahead and peel it up on all those sides. Next, slice it in half. And then we need to take the seeds and the core out. So using a tourne knife or a paring knife, simply carve out the inside of that Asian pear. Go ahead and discard that and then add those pears right over to the blender. And now for the 2 secret ingredients. I've learned to add these from my friend and it makes all the difference in the world, you guys. Starting with a Fuji apple. You're gonna get a little bit more sweetness incorporated into the marinade and the flavor is phenomenal. So go ahead and simply peel it up just like the Asian pear, slice it in half, core it, add it to the blender, and then for this next one, I've never heard of this, and dude, does it help tenderize these ribs on a whole new level, my friends. It is a kiwi. She told me the standard for using a kiwi is 1 kiwi to every 5 pounds of ribs, and since I've got about 3 pounds, we're gonna use a ½ of kiwi. So simply slice it in half, and then using a peeler, tourne knife, or paring knife, just peel the kiwi, add it to the blender, and get prepared to have your minds blown with how delicious and tender these ribs are. Finish off the marinade with some sliced green onions and some black pepper. Go ahead and on a high speed, mix and blend everything together until it is really smooth. It's not gonna be pretty by any stretch. It's just this kind of brown colored marinade. And then just like in my fried chicken recipe, which you can check out here, I'm gonna set a plastic baggie right in a gallon container. It's gonna sort of help stand everything up when I add the ribs in there. It's just gonna make it easier so the marinade isn't falling all over the countertop and you're making people mad all over the house. So just do that, or if you have, I don't know, just a big old plastic container that you wanna put it in, totally cool too, you guys. So pour the marinade right in there. And now let's pull out these short ribs. I've got a great Korean market right down the street from my studio here in Chicago called the Jungbu Market. It's simply a Korean grocery store loaded with lots of good stuff. The short ribs in there for this are literally labeled Kalbi. It's as if it's made just for this recipe. They are still short ribs though. They are cross-cut, so they're long and they're thin. You can see the bone that's still in there, and they are absolutely fantastic. And I've been told in Korean tradition, what you would do is rinse these off with water. I'm totally cool with that because these ribs were cut on a bandsaw. So what you would do is rinse them off with water to get any of those bone fragments off. So go ahead and take it over to the sink and then simply rinse them off on all sides with ice cold water. I've also been told that you can let these soak in ice cold water for 30 minutes. That is another option for you as well. Once they are rinsed off, simply go over to the marinade. Use some tongs, use your hands with gloves on, whatever you want. Add it right to the marinade. Get all of these short ribs in there and then pull it out of the container. Zip it up and then move it around just to make sure all sides of those ribs are getting touched by this amazing marinade. Then it is going in the refrigerator for at least 12 hours or overnight, my friends. The longer the better. Don't go over 24 hours though, because the protein will really break down because of all the acid, sugar, and that kiwi is really gonna do that. So be sure to just go 12 hours or overnight. And at this point, pull these ribs out. And before we go to the grill, drop me a comment below. If you've ever made Kalbi ribs or this recipe, I wanna hear about it. Hit me with the comments below. Now for the grill. It needs to be in between 450 and 550 degrees. Just like I always say, this is optimal searing temperature on those grill grates. Go ahead and lay the ribs down. It's probably gonna completely cover up your grill because these ribs are so long. They only cook for maybe 3 minutes per side. You're looking to get that deep golden brown grill marks on both sides of these short ribs. Those dark marks come from all the sugar and the caramelization in the marinade. You get those, my friend, and dude, these are gonna be so flippin' good. Turn over the ribs. You can see we've got those nice dark marks. Gonna be amazing, my friends. Finish up cooking them for a few more minutes and then take them off. We're gonna come back inside. I'm gonna serve them up just on the sheet tray lined with parchment paper. And in that same rich Korean tradition, we're gonna hit it with some sesame seeds and some sliced green onions. And do not forget to use my 2 secret ingredients, a Fuji apple and a kiwi, guaranteed to make these short ribs top notch. While I shove these insanely delicious Korean Kalbi ribs in my face, and yes, they are amazing, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you love ribs, my friends, you have to check out these smoked St. Louis style ribs. They are fantastic. It's good.